Hi students, we are about to embark on our new module. So this is the overview video for our week 4 unit. And since we are starting a new module, I wanted to take a minute and just point your attention to, I do module overview pages so you can get kind of an idea of what we're doing over those next several weeks. So we're going to spend 4 weeks in this module, and you can see that if you scroll down, you can kind of see the schedule and what focus we're going to have each week. So we're going to spend 4 weeks. 4 weeks is basically the amount of time it takes for us to follow the writing process in terms of having enough time to plan, draft, have a peer review workshop, rethink what we're doing, evaluate ourselves, seek feedback, and then revise and make changes and then resubmit. So that is the process that we're following. That's called the writing process. And so when we get into the unit for the first week, okay, so this unit is where I have officially assigned you your first writing project, okay? So for this unit overview, you can see all the assignments again right here, okay, and I'll talk about what we're doing with the journals and the assignments in just a second. Okay, so you have a couple videos to watch this week. The narrative writing video is to kind of orient you and give you some context before you start the Chapter 4 Smart Book, because that's going to be all about personal narrative writing. And that is going to be that you have the official assignment that I give you is actually located at the end of that chapter. I don't always do assignments that are straight out of the book, but this is one that I do. So you can find it in Chapter 4. It's at the very end of the chapter, but I also am going to give it to you in a handout. And that handout is located right here. Okay, so you can see you have a official assignment sheet. So this is the exact same prompt from your Chapter 4. However, I put it with a lot more context. I give you an overview, I post you the prompt, so this is what you're responding to in the paper when you draft it, and this is, you know, just some need to know context for thinking about your writing situation, some specifics that we'll get into later about length and format. This is the writing project schedule, so you can kind of see that each week you have a deadline and you will be working on assignments that are helping you to develop this paper. That's what we're doing over the 4 weeks. Keep in mind, though, that on weeks 6 and 7, those are going to be broken up by the spring break. So, so our flow might slow down a little bit between that first draft and final draft, but that actually might work out well. It'll give you a little more time, so that actually might be a good thing. And then I have some other context reminders, things you need to know. And this is extra guiding questions if you're having trouble getting started on it. A space for you to make your own questions or answer them, and then the evaluation criteria. So that's what you will find in this sheet, this document. This is going to be important. You're going to want to have this over the next 4 weeks so you can keep revisiting it. And I will relink to it. Okay, so once you all have, let me go back in. Once you have looked at that, just keep scrolling. Don't X out like I just did. Keep scrolling. There is a reading assignment. This is a sample essay. Because I know whenever you have a writing assignment, you're like, I want to see an example. What does a personal narrative look like? What is your idea of a personal narrative? Because my idea in college might be a little different than what you might do as a personal narrative in, say, like a high school setting. Right? So it might be a little different. So you might want to check that out and kind of see what it is that, it's just one example. I will give you another example later on, but that's one sample, and we are going to read this. You can open it here, or you can access it in the discussion post for the assignment this week, because we are going to talk about that reading there. This is a presentation that I have made for you. this kind of follows the chapter 4, touches on kind of the key things, but it's more like my presentation. I made this more like a walkthrough, so you can just kind of use the PDF or the PowerPoint version. Okay, and then one of the things I did in that presentation is I kind of break down the first paragraph of that reading, so you might want to check that out. And then at the bottom here, I'm going to start introducing every now and then some check your knowledge questions. So this is, it's not a quiz. This is, I can see who answers it and who doesn't, but this does not negatively impact your grade. It's to just check yourself on knowledge and things, important things that you want to make sure you understand. And, you know, it's short, so you have like 2, 3 at a time, and so it doesn't take too much time to just check your knowledge. It's a good thing to have as a tool. Okay, so several things going on in this one link. You have the assignment, a reading, a presentation on chapter 4, and some check your knowledge questions. I also have a video here about the writing process because I do want to spend a little time this week having y'all think about the writing process. This may be a review for many of you, and that's okay. It's good to review. What does the writing process involve? We're going to focus on one specific area, which is planning, pre-writing. So that's what this part of the writing process is going to ask you to think about. Okay. And so this video will help give you a little knowledge before you go into this adaptive learning writing process, generating ideas. And then the last 2 assignments, the discussion, you're going to be engaging with that reading I mentioned earlier. The reading again is called My 8-Cal Bracelet, and I linked to it here as well. Or I think I put it in as a document attachment. I think it's a document. So you guys can access it there or go back and look at it in the Writing Project 1 place. And all the instructions are there for you. And again, you will need to post your discussion before you can see other students' posts, okay? Don't forget those peer review responses, though, when you do those discussions. And then the last assignment is going to be a journal. And this journal, the whole point of it, you're not expected to draft. I don't want to see drafts yet, okay? So we're not drafting. Can you draft from now until the next unit? You can. But don't give me a draft here. Follow the instructions, and because what I'm looking for is show me your work, show me your planning, show me your pre-writing. So that's why I want you to make sure you follow all the instructions for this assignment so I can see your work and so you can have the experience of what the whole course is about, which is helping you to learn and understand and apply what you learn about the writing process. So you can do this on your own and not have to rely on AI for everything, right? We want to be smart people and not just rely on AI for everything. So this is your own words, your own work, and you know, think about ideas. If you need help generating ideas, look at your chapter 4 at the end of it. There are some more specific ideas. I also have put some of those in the presentation that I gave you for how to get started, what questions you might want to think about to try to find a good topic. Okay, you do have 2 pre-writing exercises you can do here. Make sure that you are following the instructions, but I do give you the option on the pre-writing. You have to show your work, but you can, sometimes I know of people who like to do mapping or more visual. You can handwrite and sketch things out if that helps you and upload that as a photo. So you do have that option here that I wanted to mention. Okay, so by the end of this unit, by the time you get to this journal assignment, what we want to leave with is I have topic ideas. Even if you haven't committed to one, that's okay. You have the next week when we start drafting to do that, but you want to have some topics that you feel good about and make sure that they're narrow and specific. We'll talk more about that in our next unit. I'll have you guys check your topics, but yeah, you want to have one that's pretty narrow that you can work to develop your paper. Okay, so everyone, have a good rest of your week, and if you have questions or need help while you work on this, please reach out.